You're living in a world where war's just around the corner. You're scared. You don't know what's coming. Then, one person stands up and delivers a powerful message that changes everything. That man was Patrick Henry, and his words were, "Give me liberty or give me death." Now, this wasn't merely an angry speech or a dramatic moment. It was a strategic bombshell. Patrick Henry didn't just speak, he ignited a fervor. At that time, the American colonies were divided. Some people wanted to fight, others pleaded for peace. Nobody could agree on a course of action. The pressing question was, how do you inspire ordinary people to risk everything, to go to war, to pursue freedom when the cost could be their lives? And why did this particular speech become the catalyst that drove them to action? But what exactly did he say? Why did it resonate so profoundly? And what did liberty cost him and everyone else who joined the cause? Let's analyze the speech that didn't just make an impact. It sparked a revolution. To understand why Patrick Henry's speech was so powerful, we need to go back to 1775, to Virginia. During this time, the American colonies faced serious pressure. Tensions with Britain escalated daily. The British Crown became more aggressive, leading many in the colonies to question how much longer they could live under such control. However, not everyone agreed on the next steps. Some still wanted peace, believing that solutions could be found. Others felt it was time to stand up and fight. Virginia was one of the most crucial colonies, and many leaders gathered for the Virginia Convention. This was not merely another meeting. It represented a significant turning point. Everyone present understood that substantial decisions had to be made. Patrick Henry stood at the center of this moment. He was deeply committed to the cause of American independence. He believed in using words to inspire people to act. Henry recognized that time was of the essence. He needed to convey that waiting for peace was perilous, and that action was the only viable option left. Many people in the room remained uncertain. Some felt fear, while others hoped Britain would still listen. But Henry aimed to awaken them, and he succeeded. He spoke with immense power and passion, and his words would change everything. So, what exactly did he say? How did his words help ignite a revolution? Moving on, we will closely examine the speech itself and the path it created, the road to revolution. Patrick Henry's speech did not come out of nowhere. It was not a random outburst. It came after years of frustration, anger, and a growing feeling that the colonies were being pushed too far. By 1775, the American colonies had already spent a decade dealing with British laws and taxes that many believed were unfair. The people were tired, and the pressure was building. Things began to change with the Stamp Act of 1765. This was a tax forced onto the colonies by the British Parliament, and it was done without asking the colonists. Many saw this as a direct attack on their rights. The slogan, "No taxation without representation," became a rallying cry. Protests broke out, and the idea of resistance started to take root. Then came the Boston Massacre in 1770. British soldiers opened fire on a crowd, killing 5 colonists. This event shocked the colonies and was used as powerful evidence of British cruelty. 3 years later, in 1773, the Boston Tea Party happened. A group of colonists threw British tea into the harbor to protest another tax. These acts of resistance were not isolated. They helped fuel a stronger sense of unity across the colonies. By the time the Virginia Convention took place, people were asking serious questions. Should they keep trying to work with Britain? Or was it time to stand up and fight for real freedom? This was the moment when Patrick Henry stepped forward. It was March 23rd, 1775. The Virginia Convention met at St. John's Church in Richmond. The room was full of delegates, some nervous, some hopeful, but most unsure. Some still wanted peace with Britain. Others believed war was the only way. But no one had said it out loud until Patrick Henry stood up. He didn't start by shouting. He spoke calmly at first. He even praised the people who wanted peace, calling them patriotic. But as he kept going, his words became stronger. He warned them that hoping for peace would not stop what was coming. The British Army was already moving. War wasn't just a future risk. It had already begun. Then came the words that changed everything. "I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." That line hit like a thunderclap. The room fell silent. People were stunned. In just a few words, Henry made it clear. Freedom was worth dying for. And more than that, he helped others believe it too. But what happened after those powerful words echoed through the church? What real changes came next? Stay with us, because now we will take a look at the impact of the speech. Patrick Henry's speech didn't just make people feel something, it made them act. Right after the convention, things started to move. The people of Virginia took his message seriously. Support for independence grew fast. Militias began to form. Local leaders prepared for what was now seen as a coming war. It was clear. Henry's words had lit a fire, but something else was happening in the background too. Virginia's royal governor, Lord Dunmore, made a bold move. He promised freedom to any enslaved people who fought for the British. That added a new layer of fear and urgency. Leaders like Henry believed they had to act before they lost control of their colony. The push toward independence became even stronger. And for many, that line became a reason to fight. The colonies were no longer just angry. Now, they were ready. Henry's speech helped tip the scales. It was a moment where words became action, and where a revolution truly began. So now that we've seen the power of Henry's message, how do we remember it today? Let's wrap this up by looking at the legacy. Why this speech still matters. Even now, centuries later, Patrick Henry's words still live on. That one powerful line, "Give me liberty," or "Give me death," has become one of the most famous quotes in American history. You can see it carved into monuments. It's printed in history books. People still use it today when they talk about standing up for freedom. It's more than just a line from a speech. It's a symbol of courage and standing firm, even when the stakes are high. Patrick Henry reminded people that words can move mountains, that liberty is worth fighting for, and that sometimes speaking the truth can be just as brave as picking up a weapon. His message didn't fade with time. It grew. It passed from generation to generation, used by movements, protests, and everyday people who want to be free. It showed that freedom isn't just an idea from the past. It's something people still chase, still fight for, still believe in. Henry's speech may have been born in a small Virginia church, but its voice still echoes across the world. What do you think? Was Patrick Henry a hero of his time, or just a great speaker at the right moment? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this breakdown of one of history's boldest speeches, give us a like, hit that subscribe button, and share it with someone who loves history. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.